Hello, so lovely to see you here. Today's video, we are going to be comparing 3 clothing rental subscription services. We'll be talking about FashionPass, Nuuly, and Rent the Runway. I will explain and compare the renting, receiving, and returning process, as well as talking about the pros and cons of each one. And at the end, I will tell you which one is my favorite and which one I think is for certain groups, because it definitely is for different clienteles. This video is probably the longest I've worked on a video because I originally started by renting in December. I probably could have gone the Mia Maples route because she also did a video where she compared Rent the Runway and Nuuly, and she did everything in 1 month, but I wanted to get more bang for my buck. So if I was gonna rent clothes, I wanted to like wear them, you know, throughout the month and not have them all come at once. And I don't know if my hair is gonna bug me. I went with a ponytail just because I thought it was, you know, more proper for the sailor shirt, but I don't know how it's gonna look on camera. So editing Jacqueline will put if it looks okay here. Of the 3, Nuuly is definitely the cheaper option, although you only get 6 items a month, 1 shipment of 6 items a month. You can always add more if you want, but I'm just gonna talk in the basic sense. So 6 items a month, it is $98. FashionPass, you get 2 shipments a month of 5 items plus 1 accessory. My accessory that I used was always like a bodysuit that counted as an accessory, but you can rent jewelry, bags, and I think that's it. And their price per month is $125. Rent the Runway has 3 different tiers. So the first tier is a limited closet. Everything is under $350 and under, and you get 5 items once a month. Or you can unlock the full closet. So they have things up to like $3,000. And you can do 1 shipment of 5 items for $119, or you can do 10 items. So it's 2 shipments of 5 for $144. I think as far as the picking and the renting experience, Nuuly was the easiest because if something came in multiple colors, they bundled it together, where FashionPass and Rent the Runway, if there was like an item and it came in different colors, they were listed differently. Sometimes they would post like similar items, they'll show you, but I would just have to like click on the brand and look to see if it came in a different color, if it was something that I liked. FashionPass is probably the most stressful because once you put something in your bag, you have a 30-minute countdown from the time you put in the first item. So my first shipment, I put something in, and then, you know, I was like going through, and I think I like got to like 28 minutes, and it was like, okay, in 2 minutes they're gonna release my bag, and it was so stressful. So if you decide to use FashionPass, my recommendation is first heart everything that you are considering getting, and then you can go into the heart section and put in your bag, because if you're just trying to go through like the categories, that was very like an unnecessary stressful experience that I bestowed upon myself. FashionPass was the only one that came in kind of like unsustainable packaging. So it came in like a plastic mailer, everything was wrapped in plastic, and it also had like silica packages. Nuuly and Rent the Runway come in their own container that you know, get everything out and then put everything back in. Even the plastic for Rent the Runway is, they ask you to return it because they reuse it. So with FashionPass and Rent the Runway, when you want to do your second, you just go in the app and you hit swap. If you want to keep something for like an extra to like the end of the month, you can hold on to it, and like, cause like with FashionPass, I was just in love with these like Rolla's jeans, and so I kept that for the entire month, and that took the space of an item for my second shipment. But the difference between the two is with FashionPass, you have to return the items first before they ship out the second shipment. And Rent the Runway, they give you a time when you need to return the items by. So they'll ship out your second shipment while you still have your first shipment. So they were gonna have my second delivery by the 19th, and I had to return what I had by the 17th. So that was nice. Like you know, because you do kind of lose some time with the 2 shipments because you're waiting for the second shipment. So the fact that you can still hold on to items, and technically you only have like 1 day in between the two arriving was really nice. When you're ready to return, you don't have to clean it. They accept everything with like stains, tears. They take care of all of that for you, and then you just have to return it to a designated shipping center. FashionPass, you do have to return specifically to a FedEx ground. They're not at a FedEx Express, FedEx ground. So I had to drop off at a local Walgreens, where Rent the Runway and Nuuly, you just have to find a UPS store and they'll take it, scan it. There you go. So as far as comparison goes, Nuuly, I felt like they updated their selection the most. It probably was like a tie between Rent the Runway and Nuuly. I think because Nuuly is owned by Urban, who owns Anthropologie, Urban Outfitters, and Free People. They have just stock always coming in, so then they update it onto their website. Rent the Runway, it's okay, you know, like every couple of days I check in to see, and between two shipments I would see a lot more new clothes hop onto the site. Where FashionPass went between the two shipments, I probably only saw like 3 things hop on there, and it already was so hard for me to find 5 pieces that I liked for my first shipment that it was like just so hard the second time around. Though it is nice to have 2 shipments of 5, so like 10 pieces in a month, where Nuuly's only 6. I think personally I liked having 1 shipment of 6 items for the month, because there were a couple of shipments, like one with Rent the Runway and one with FashionPass, where I didn't have time to wear an item, so I just had to like send it back without getting to wear it. Nuuly, I really got to enjoy the items because I had it for about a month. I felt like it was a lot easier for me to get what I wanted in stock on Nuuly. I don't know if they just have like more stock, or it's not as there's not as many users as Rent the Runway has. I did have to use the customer service for FashionPass because I had rented a set, so it was like a cardigan and a tank top, and I had accidentally only returned the tank top, and when I like returned back from Walgreens, I noticed that the cardigan was there, so that also took a place of one of my future rentals. But like the person that helped me was so nice. You know, they really did help me through the process of making a mistake, but it didn't bother me that it took a place of a future shipment, because you know, it was really hard for me to find things that I wanted to rent on FashionPass. And so we'll go into the next of who I think these subscription services are for. I think it'll be great for someone who is trying to get in better shape, so you don't have to buy something and then, you know, in a couple of months that no longer fits your body type. I also think it's great, and this is what I did it for, is because when you are a mom, you almost kind of like, your body changes and you lose your sense of style. So it was nice to be able to rent clothes to see what is my style now. FashionPass, I think, would have been like my style pre-kids, maybe even like 5-10 years before I had kids. Obviously, if you're going on vacation, this is a great option, especially when you're going somewhere that you really want to like dress up like where the destination. Like there's clothes that I purchased when I went to like Japan or Paris that is not really my style when I'm living in LA. And then, I mean, obviously if you're like an influencer, you have to go to events. If you're someone that gets tired of clothes or doesn't like to get photographed in the same thing, I think this is great, because, you know, I just think about when I was in my peak fast fashion, don't get photographed in the same thing twice. And I think about all the clothes that I just wound up like sending to Goodwill. I think this is better because it's going to go back into rotation to other people that want it. With Nuuly, they like sell items that already have been rented that they're trying to get out of stock. So they're, you know, I did the Nuuly thrift and was able to purchase some really nice items for very cheap, like 70% off what it would be in the stores. They do share some brands, like I noticed that all of them had For Love and Lemons. but they never have the same items for Love and Lemons because it is definitely like geared for specific groups. So like I feel, and I hope no one takes offense because I'm not saying any of these in a mean fashion. They're just kind of like, if I were to put myself in where I would wear it. So like FashionPass to me feels like young LA influencers, a lot of crop tops. It was so hard for me to find non-cropped knits. So like this one, and this one made me very happy that I also rented a high-waisted jean because they're all very cropped. A lot of like showing what you got, bright colors, florals. It's what I would expect someone to be wearing if I were to go to like West Hollywood or Studio City. You know, it's kind of that vibe, that very young, flaunt it if you got it. My friend Casey loves FashionPass. I actually used her referral code to do this, but I mean, she's got an amazing body, so it makes sense that this is her favorite. Rent the Runway is what I would imagine like a working girl in Manhattan would be wearing. A lot of high-end brands, like this is Sandro. If I wanted to like purchase it, I think it's like $500, which like I just started sweating thinking about that. So they do have like kind of flashy gowns, like very like, you know, high fashion items. But for the everyday items, I feel like it's more muted, you know, like these dark navies. What else did I get? I got like a cream and a red. It feels very like older sister, like fashionable older sister. Like this is just so much fun. I really loved a lot of the sweaters that I got. The shirt that I wore for the Stars Historical Drama with the big bell sleeve, like I loved. So it is like muted, but it has those like very high fashion pops. I don't know why I said that. This is why I wish I didn't sound so robotic when I do script, because then I just like say things and I'm winging everything. Rent the Runway is not just muted colors, because obviously this is from Rent the Runway and it's not muted. It's very cute, very feminine, very floral. If I were to say the biggest difference between Rent the Runway and the other two is just the brands, the luxury, because a lot of the items to rent are in like the 500, 600, where I don't know if FashionPass or Nuuly even have anything in that price range. And with all three companies, you can rent to buy. So if you wanted to rent to buy this, it would be like, it's over $400. So I think that's the biggest difference, is just the like expensive luxury brands that you can get with Rent the Runway as opposed to the other two. I should mention that when I did all of these clothing rental subscriptions, that was during the winter. So this is my first Rent the Runway where it's during like the spring season. So maybe that has something to do with what was being like fed to me on the app. Nuuly is probably closer to my personal style because I do love free people anthropology. Like I get targeted at all the time and I'm just like, yes, I want that. It's a lot of color, graphics, is very like second to older sister. Like it doesn't feel as old, but it still feels, I don't want to say mature because I don't want to say like you know, people who go for FashionPass is not mature. It's really hard to describe because I think it's more just like a little bit more young but reserved. Obviously target ads are targeting, and so while I was doing the research, Instagram was like, hey, I noticed that you have been doing a lot of clothing rental subscription services. There's this one called Bento. So there is another one out there. I decided not to do it because the pieces there are more like avant-garde, like where FashionPass already felt like I was stepping out of my current comfort zone. I would have really been out of my comfort zone with Bento. It's just there. It's a type of fashion that I have never been into, but it's great. Like I admire people who can wear that. But it was just never me. Overall, I had such a great experience. I definitely will use this again when I'm going like on vacation or something. I'm not sure which one I'll pick. I think it just depends on the destination. They're all great, but I feel like each one has like a specific destination or vibe. I do highly recommend when you're picking out pieces to use a user review. So what they do when you first sign up is you put in your measurements, height, weight, what kind of body type you have. And then when people review, you can look and see if someone has like your similar dimensions, and they will tell you if it runs small, large, or true to size. And I use that on all three of the services, and it was exact. Like I never had something that was too small, too big. I even like ordered not my size based on user review, and it came perfectly. So highly recommend you take a little extra time to just make sure that like the pieces run how they should run. But yeah, that is it. I just want to make a quick review video on clothing rental services. I think it's a great thing. I wish it existed long ago. It really helped me figure out my style after, wearing maternity clothes and then wearing easily breastfeeding clothes for 5 years. You do kind of lose that sense of self, and your body's not the same. So like a lot of the clothes I used to have no longer fit me. So it really did help me, feel like myself, my new self. Because I love fashion, I love clothes. But I was getting really frustrated that, the way I was ordering and the clothes that were coming did not fit, or like was now no longer who I was. So this was such a great experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.